Angel Reese putting on a show, outduels Caitlin Clark with 25 points, 16 rebounds in the Sky's win over the Fever. Reese scored a career high to help Chicago beat Indiana 88-97.
Have you ever wondered what happens when a top athlete who everyone believes is invincible is caught up in a controversy that might terminate their career? Buckle up, because we're about to get into one of the most startling moments in WNBA history. Angel Reese, a popular figure who has created a reputation as a force to be reckoned with, has supposedly been found taking steroids, sending shockwaves across the whole sports world. This isn't just another headline, it might alter everything.
Angel Reese putting on a show, outduels Caitlin Clark with 25 points, 16 rebounds in the Sky's win over the Fever. Reese scored a career high to help Chicago beat Indiana 88-97.
Let's take a deeper look at how one of the WNBA's most prominent stars fell from grace. What was once a dizzying climb to prominence has now become a steep, jaw-dropping fall. And the most absurd part? It seems that this whole incident might have been averted if Angel Reese had chosen a different path. So how did we get here? How did someone who was on top of the world find herself in such a mess? Let's break everything down.
Reese is the first rookie since Aja Wilson with 25 plus points and 15 plus rebounds in a single game.
I'm a dog. You can't teach that. I'm gonna go out and do whatever it takes to win, and every single night. My teammates rely on my energy. So being able to continue the energy, even if we're down, even if we're up, that's what I do.
Angel Reese has received a lot of attention, but not for the right reasons. She is a famous and vocal player in the WNBA, known for her aggressive demeanor and commanding presence on the floor. But she's now making headlines for all the wrong reasons. According to many sources, Angel Reese has been detected taking steroids, which might not only damage her image, but also terminate her career. Steroids in sports are a big concern. It's not just about breaching the rules. It's about betraying the confidence of fans, teammates, and the whole sports community. And for a player like Reese, who has been open about her status as one of the finest, the controversy is nothing short of devastating. So, what's really going on? How did this happen? And what are the next steps for the seemingly invincible player?
Just because of one single game. And just looking at that, like, I'll take that role. I'll take the bad guy role, and I'll continue to take that on and be that for my teammates. And if I want to be that, and I know I'll go down in history, I'll look back in 20 years and be like, yeah, the reason why we watching women's basketball is not just because of one person. It's because of me too, and I want y'all to realize that. Like, it's not just because of one person. A lot of us have done so much for this game, and Kennedy has been here before, obviously, but there are so many great players in this league that have deserved this for a really, really long time, and luckily, it's coming now.
Let's take a moment to discuss drugs and why they're such a big problem in professional sports. Steroids are merely a kind of cheating. They provide athletes an unfair edge by pushing their physical capabilities beyond their natural limitations. This is more than simply working out harder than everyone else. It's about artificially pumping up muscles, increasing stamina, and claiming to be an unstoppable force when, in fact, you're playing with a loaded deck. Steroids are prohibited in practically all sports for this reason. They alter the level playing field where athletes compete. It is not just about the immediate physical gains. Steroids may seriously harm an athlete's body and reputation. In a sport like basketball, where agility, speed, and power are essential, steroids may provide an artificial advantage that is virtually hard to compete with.
Goes out there, fights, gives it all she's got for her teammates every day, and they were relevant for a while before they went on this latest losing streak. But 26 double-doubles on the season, averaging a double-double, only the 5th rookie in WNBA history to pull that off. You can't say enough. The only thing you can say about her as a rookie is that she wasn't Caitlin Clark. That's about it. Everything else is nothing but positive, and even that is positive because everybody ain't gonna be, the female version of Steph Curry, for crying out loud. That's what Caitlin Clark is, playing 2 different positions. But Angel Reese deserves all the credit in the world.
Heck of a season.
Heck of a season. I think she's got a really, really bright future.
Absolutely.
So when a player like Angel Reese, who has established her reputation as being powerful, impenetrable, and dominating, is accused of taking performance-enhancing drugs, it upsets everything she has constructed. It raises the question, was she really truly that good? Or was it all a ruse caused by illicit drugs? For fans, such a surprise may be heartbreaking. It alters your perspective on the person, the sport, and even the integrity of the game itself. You can't speak about Angel Reese without mentioning one of the WNBA's most visible rivalries, her continuing rivalry with Caitlin Clark. Those who follow the WNBA carefully know how fierce this rivalry is. It's not only about who the best player is, it's about who can be the WNBA's brightest star. Caitlin Clark has been nothing short of amazing. She's been breaking records left and right, dominating the game with her sheer natural ability. The key word here is natural. Unlike Reese, who's now suspected of taking steroids, Clark's accomplishments are pure and unchallenged. She smashed the WNBA rookie scoring record with 761 points without violating a single rule.
Last night, we saw Caitlin Clark take the last shot of her season, one that ended with an 87-81 loss to the Sun in Game 2 of the first round of the playoffs. Clark was the first one in the tunnel. Her long year of basketball over, she was chosen #1 in the WNBA draft and took a team that had won 30 combined games over the previous 4 years to its first playoff berth since 2016. Clark had a rookie record-setting year.
And now is when things become interesting. While Clark has received several honors, Reese has been outspoken about how she is the greatest, deserves all of the recognition, and how the media just favors Clark because she is white. However, with these steroid charges hovering over her head, it seems that Reese's claims and confidence were only a smokescreen to conceal her fears. The possibility that Reese was taking steroids all along changes the dynamic of her competition with Clark. It's no longer a fight between two outstanding athletes. It's a story about one player rising through pure skill and another maybe cheating her way to the top. If these charges are accurate, the whole story changes, and this is something fans and the WNBA will have to deal with.
Like, basketball has really consumed my life for a year, so I feel like it'll be good for me to kind of reflect back on everything that's happened. Like, I feel like I didn't even have time to really reflect on my college career because it ended so fast, and then I came here and was trying to give everything I could to this team, and it was special. There was a lot of things that this group accomplished that, you know, a lot of people probably didn't think was possible.
The charges against Angel Reese point to a deeper issue: desperation. It's no secret that the pressure to achieve at the top levels of professional sports is immense. The attention, sponsorships, and fans, it's a lot to manage. And for someone like Reese, who has built her whole brand on being the greatest, the pressure to remain at the top must have been enormous.
Angel Reese putting on a show, outduels Caitlin Clark with 25 points, 16 rebounds in the Sky's win over the Fever. Reese scored a career high to help Chicago beat Indiana 88-97, despite 17 points and a franchise record 13 assists from Clark on Sunday. Reese is the first rookie since Aja Wilson with 25-plus points and 15-plus rebounds in a single game.
But here's the thing, when you're competing against Caitlin Clark, who does everything instinctively, the pressure may be overwhelming. Reese's alleged steroid usage seems to be a desperate effort to stay competitive, preserve her image, and remain relevant in a sport where natural skill is shining brighter than ever. It's the ugliest move you can make in sports. Use performance-enhancing substances to compensate for inherent deficiencies, and it's almost hilarious. Reese has always been the loudest in the room, claiming to be the greatest, but now it seems that all of her discourse was a cover for her fears. Instead of working harder and perfecting her skill, Reese supposedly took the easy way out, the coward's path. Steroids may give you muscles, but they don't provide you with heart, which Caitlin Clark possesses in plenty.
Oh, you know I love a good rivalry, and it continues, and the fireworks are still there, folks. Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark squared off again as the Clark's Indiana Fever defeated Reese's Chicago Sky 88-83 on Sunday, making it 2-0 Clark in the pros. Reese and Clark have been linked since their much-hyped matchup in the 2023 Women's Final Four when Reese came out victorious. This one not without controversy, as Reese, attempting to block Clark's shot, also delivered a hard blow to her head. As Clark drove to the basket in the third quarter, officials upgraded the call to a flagrant 1 foul. Reese seemed to take exception to the ruling.
Angel Reese has spent years portraying herself as an unstoppable force in the WNBA. She has been open about her grandeur, confidence, and conviction that she is untouchable. However, with these steroid claims, the whole image is beginning to shatter. The player who once referred to herself as the WNBA's queen is now faced with the hard realization that her reign may have been based on falsehoods. The potential for hypocrisy is far more harmful. Reese has been one of Caitlin Clark's harshest detractors, accusing her of earning unfair accolades owing to her color. But now it seems that while Reese was busy making charges, she may have been keeping a secret of her own. It's the classic example of projection, blaming someone else for the same thing you're guilty of.
I think so many people are watching women's basketball right now. It all started from the national championship game, and I've been dealing with this for 2 years now. And understanding, like, yeah, negative things have probably been said about me, but honestly, I'll take that because look where women's basketball is. People are talking about women's basketball, but you never would think that we'd be talking about women's basketball. People are pulling up to games. We got celebrities coming to games, sold out arenas.
Reese's character as a powerful, outstanding athlete has always been part of her brand. She didn't simply want to be considered excellent, she wanted to be recognized as the greatest. However, if these steroid charges are proven accurate, it will be evident that her achievement was not the product of hard effort or natural skill, but of cheating, and no amount of public relations or damage control can change it. So what happens next? If the charges against Angel Reese are proven accurate, it might be the end of his career. The WNBA has a rigorous zero-tolerance policy towards performance-enhancing drugs, and getting detected taking steroids is one of the most serious offenses a player can commit. Not only will Reese risk suspension or expulsion from the league, but her whole career may be stained by this incident.
Yeah, negative things have probably been said about me, but honestly, I'll take that because look where women's basketball is. People are talking about women's basketball, but you never would think that we'd be talking about women's basketball. People are pulling up to games. We got celebrities coming to games, sold out arenas, like just because of one single game. And just looking at that, like, I'll take that role. I'll take the bad guy role, and I'll continue to take that on and be that for my teammates. And if I want to be that, and I know I'll go down in history, I'll look back in 20 years and be like, yeah, the reason why we watching women's basketball is not just because of one person. It's because of me too, and I want y'all to realize that. Like, it's not just because of one person. A lot of us have done so much for this game, and Kennedy has been here before, obviously, but there are so many great players in this league that have deserved this for a really, really long time, and luckily, it's coming now.
Reese's integrity as an athlete will be called into doubt, and this scandal will overshadow her legacy, whatever it is. Let's not forget about the potential influence on her endorsements and partnerships. Brands do not want to be associated with cheats, and after the dust settles, Reese may lose more than just her position in the WNBA. The WNBA will also have to face the problem straight on. The league has worked hard to retain its integrity and expand its fan base, and a high-profile case like this might jeopardize its image. Will the WNBA hold Angel Reese responsible, or will they brush it under the rug? Many people are asking this topic, and the answer might establish a precedent for how the league deals with similar concerns in the future.
Yeah, Caitlin Clark came into the WNBA as the most impactful women's basketball player we've seen in a generation, and it took a combination of things, both on and off the court. Off the court, attendance, viewership. On the court, breaking the single season scoring record or the all-time scoring record in college. But now you see her in the WNBA and you can say the exact same thing. Most impactful that we've seen in women's basketball for those same two reasons. Arenas were upgraded, viewership through the roofs. But then when it comes to the basketball, what she was able to do was truly impressive. She averaged 19 and 8. For some context, I won Rookie of the Year. I think I averaged 12. It is a huge feat to get those types of numbers. After Olympic break, you mentioned it, Molly. It's like finally she can wait, waiting to exhale.
Totally.
23, 9, and 8 were her averages, bringing the Fever to the playoffs. I know that there was a big three with Aaliyah Boston and Kelsey Mitchell as well, but what she has been able to do has transcended not just women's basketball, but it's women's sports in this moment.
One of the most remarkable parts of this whole story is its timing. Just when Caitlin Clark is on the rise, shattering records and dominating the league, Angel Reese's name comes up in connection with steroid usage. It almost stinks of desperation, as if Reese realized she couldn't keep up with Clark's immaculate successes and took a shortcut. Then there's the irony. While Reese was accusing Clark of being favored because of her ethnicity, she might have been keeping a performance-enhancing secret of her own. It's a typical example of projection, blaming someone else for something you're guilty of. If these charges are accurate, it becomes evident that Reese's actual issue was Clark's superiority, not his race. But instead of accepting that in addition to working harder, Reese reportedly opted to cheat.
That's about it. Everything else is nothing but positive, and even that is positive because everybody ain't gonna be, the female version of Steph Curry, for crying out loud. That's what Caitlin Clark is, playing two different positions. But Angel Reese deserves all the credit in the world.
Heck of a season.
Heck of a season. I think she's got a really, really bright future.
Absolutely. Wishing her a speedy recovery and coming back next season, we expect even better and stronger. So all the best to her.
We've seen it repeated in sports. One player feels threatened by a competition and turns to drugs to gain an advantage. But it never works out. The truth always comes out, and the athlete who took the easy way out is forced to face the consequences. For years, Angel Reese has worked hard to build a narrative about herself as the finest, strongest, and most dominating player in the WNBA. She has been outspoken, assertive, and unrepentant about her position at the top. However, if these steroid charges are proven accurate, the whole story collapses. Fans would doubt Reese's accomplishments and wonder whether she was really as amazing as she claimed. Every game, triumph, and highlight reel moment would be marred by the idea that it wasn't her fault. It was the steroids, and no athlete wants to leave that legacy.
Queen Angel Reese announced to social media over the weekend that her rookie season has come to an end after unfortunately suffering a wrist injury that will require surgery. The number 7 pick in the draft finished the season averaging over 13 points, 13 boards. It's the highest rebound average in the history of the W. Reese also set the rookie record with 26 double-doubles. Stephen A., now that her season is over, how would you grade her rookie campaign?
Very good, very impressive. She deserves a lot of credit for it.
In comparison, Caitlin Clark's reputation will only get stronger. She accomplished excellence without violating the rules, taking shortcuts, or cheating. While Reese's reputation suffers, Clark's fame will continue to climb. The Angel Reese steroid controversy involves the whole WNBA, not just one player. The league has worked hard to increase its fan base, recruit new viewers, and establish its image as a credible, competitive sports league. However, situations like these may seriously undermine that effort.
Sure, there was an opportunity or two for me to probably attempt another shot there quite at the end, but I trust my teammates. Obviously, 13 assists, that means my teammates scored off of 13 of my passes. Like, it's a really great number. So I'm going to give them the ball every time and give them an opportunity to score. I believe in them.
Fans want to think that what they're viewing is authentic. They want to believe that the athletes they support are attaining success via hard effort, devotion, and skill. However, when a player is detected taking steroids, everything is called into doubt. Is that extraordinary performance genuine, or was it artificially enhanced? Was the game-winning shot a product of talent or cheating? If the WNBA hopes to keep its reputation, it must handle this situation straight on. Things are not an option to sweep things under the rug. The league must demonstrate that it takes performance-enhancing drug usage seriously and is dedicated to providing a fair and equal playing field for all players. As this narrative progresses, one thing becomes clear: the consequences of Angel Reese's suspected steroid usage will be far-reaching. Whether or not these charges are proven genuine, her reputation has already suffered. The once unquestionable athlete now confronts a future fraught with suspicion, doubt, and uncertainty. If the claims are verified, Reese's WNBA career may be over. She will risk not only losing her position in the league, but also the breakdown of her sponsorships, public image, and legacy. For a player who has established her name as the greatest, this controversy might be her undoing.
I'll take that because look where women's basketball is. People are talking about women's basketball, but you never would think that we'd be talking about women's basketball. People are pulling up to games. We got celebrities coming to games, sold out arenas, like just because of one single game. And just looking at that, like, I'll take that role. I'll take the bad guy role, and I'll continue to take that on and be that for my teammates. And if I want to be that, and I know I'll go down in history, I'll look back in 20 years and be like, yeah, the reason why we watching women's basketball is not just because of one person. It's because of me too, and I want y'all to realize that. Like, it's not just because of one person. A lot of us have done so much for this game, and Kennedy has been here before, obviously, but there are so many great players in this league that have deserved this for a really, really long time, and luckily, it's coming now.
Aside from Angel Reese, this incident serves as a reminder of the value of honesty in athletics. Steroids may provide a shortcut to success, but they are inevitably discovered. When it occurs, the effects are catastrophic. As fans, all we can do is watch this story unfold, hoping that the truth is revealed and that the WNBA takes the appropriate actions to preserve the integrity of the game we all love.
I'm disgusted with Sue Bird, okay? Sue Bird, Hall of Fame caliber, Sue Bird, WNBA, college basketball. Matter of fact, one of the best people that I've ever met, or one of the best women I've ever met in professional or collegiate sports.
Sue Bird recently had an outburst in which she blamed both Caitlin Clark and Stephen A. Smith for the WNBA's ratings. Yes, you heard it correctly. One of basketball's most revered figures is pointing fingers, and the consequences might be tremendous. This is massive, and it is sending shockwaves across the WNBA community and beyond. But before we get started, be sure you subscribe and enable alerts so you don't miss any future updates. If you love basketball, particularly women's basketball, you'll want to remain with us as we unpack every twist and turn in this unfolding drama.
She's obviously doing amazing. Her game speaks for itself. I think my favorite part is just women's basketball, women's sports really, but women's basketball has been on the rise. And it's kind of like what Magic and Bird was to men's basketball. Like this moment, we kind of needed something.
This is
to
that
just
moment.
Like, yeah, and Caitlin's that moment. And I think a lot of it has to do with her logo threes. A lot of, I mean, speaking of John 529 from Twitter.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, women don't dunk.
Yeah.
That's what he sounds like.
Yeah, exactly. Of course, women don't dunk.
Yeah.
That's why I don't watch.
But you can't really talk trash on a logo 3.
Now, let's get started. Sue Bird, a name associated with brilliance in women's basketball, has spent the last 2 decades carving up a career as one of the sport's most accomplished athletes. With 4 WNBA titles, Olympic gold medals, and other awards, Bird's impact on the game is undeniable. Her leadership on and off the court, along with her lengthy tenure in the league, has gained her the respect of fans, players, and analysts alike.
Sue Bird, you're one of the coolest humans alive. I'm so happy you're on the show. Thank you so much for being on the show. I just want to go through a couple of your accomplishments real quick. You're a 2-time NCAA champion. You're a 4-time WNBA champion. You are a 13-time WNBA All-Star. And you're a 5-time Olympic gold medal champion. Come on!
And playing basketball is kind of last on that list, to be honest. To go through that as a group, I mean, it's a connection we'll all have forever. That's really special.
What are you talking about? Who are you? Who are you? That's just amazing. You're so talented and so good. Out of all those things I mentioned, do you have a favorite that sticks out and you go, yeah, that one was my...
Bird's reputation as a beloved figure has lately been called into question after her latest statements about the WNBA's dwindling popularity. Some say her reputation has been tainted, while others maintain that she is merely telling the truth. How did Bird go from being a WNBA icon to becoming the subject of controversy? Let's take a deeper look at what caused this unexpected incident.
This is usually when I'm like, that's like asking a parent their favorite kid.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't have kids, so this is my version of that.
Yeah.
But it is an Olympic year, so I feel like right now, and by the way, my answer changes every time somebody asks.
Okay,
me. I
yeah.
keep 'em on their
Because there are so many things and so many different parts of your life and memories. But
despite its rising fan base and more media attention, the WNBA has struggled to maintain ratings throughout the years. While the league has made progress in increasing its reach, it still falls short of its male counterpart, the NBA, in terms of viewership and income. Many causes have been linked to this, including a lack of mainstream exposure, restricted broadcast options, and persistent social prejudices against women's sports. The league has worked hard to overcome these obstacles, investing in marketing, player outreach, and even adopting more social justice programs to attract a larger audience.
All right, Caitlin finally getting a moment to breathe, right? As she just mentioned, didn't even get to reflect it all on her college career and just jumped right into things and had an epic season. How would you describe, Chanae, her historic career?
Yeah,
a year this far.
Yeah, Caitlin Clark came into the WNBA as the most impactful women's basketball player we've seen in a generation. And it took a combination of things, both on and off the court. Off the court, attendance, viewership. On the court, breaking the single season scoring record or the all-time scoring record in college. But now you see her in the WNBA and you can say the exact same thing. Most impactful that we've seen in women's basketball for those same 2 reasons. Arenas were upgraded.
Despite these attempts, the ratings have not had the desired outcomes. And that's when Sue Bird at the helm starts the blame game, pointing fingers at unlikely suspects like Caitlin Clark and Stephen A. Smith. Caitlin Clark, the youthful and agile guard who has taken the basketball world by storm, is seen as the future of women's basketball. Her remarkable shooting range, leadership, and on-court charm have piqued the interest of fans worldwide. As a collegiate player, she is already shattering records and becoming a household name, and many anticipate her dominating at the professional level whenever she joins the WNBA.
What she was able to do was truly impressive. She averaged 19 and 8. For some context, I won Rookie of the Year. I think I averaged 12. It is a huge feat to get those types of numbers. After Olympic break, you mentioned it, Molly. It's like finally she can wait, waiting to exhale.
Totally.
23, 9, and 8 were her averages, bringing the Fever to the playoffs. I know that there was a big 3 with Aaliyah Boston and Kelsey Mitchell as well, but what she has been able to do has transcended not just women's basketball, but it's women's sports in this moment.
However, Bird's recent statements indicate that Clark's quick ascension may be contributing to the WNBA's present troubles. Bird made a stunning remark, implying implying that Clark's popularity may be overshadowing existing players in the WNBA, diverting attention away from the league and perhaps halting its development. Is it plausible that a rising star like Clark would affect the WNBA's ratings, or is there more to the story? We'll discuss Bird's charges and what they represent for the league's future in further detail. In an honest interview that instantly went viral, Bird voiced dissatisfaction with the present status of the WNBA audience. But what drew everyone's attention were her harsh statements regarding Caitlin Clark. According to Bird, Clark's enormous fame in college basketball is diverting viewers from the WNBA and its established players. Bird went on to say that Clark's rising star is causing an imbalance in media coverage, with more emphasis on her performances than on the league as a whole. This in turn might be contributing to the WNBA's poor ratings, since people are more interested in Clark's trip than in watching professional games.
And this one was a fight. Early on, tempers flaring. Caitlin Clark misses the three over DeWanna Bonner. And Shanae, what did you see on this interaction?
I saw some contact, and this would not be the only interaction, but those players, they pushed through the play, and it gave us one of the best games we've seen in the playoffs.
The response to Bird's words has been divided. While some argue that the media has overhyped Clark to the detriment of the WNBA, others say Bird is unjustly criticizing a young player who has yet to join the league. What is obvious is that this incident has sparked discussion about the future of women's basketball, namely the role of young talent in influencing its direction. Sue Bird isn't simply pointing fingers at Caitlin Clark. Surprisingly, Bird also criticized ESPN analyst Stephen A. Smith, one of the most outspoken and important figures in sports journalism. So what did Stephen A. say that upset Bird? Smith, renowned for his strong and provocative beliefs, has criticized the WNBA's marketing and public image. In multiple parts, he has openly questioned why the league has not had the same success as the NBA, even suggesting that the WNBA should modify its strategy if it wants to expand its audience.
But I didn't appreciate this article that I read, okay, when it came to her talking about yours truly. Because you see, far be it, this is the headline, y'all. Sue Bird calls out ESPN host for, quote, hating on WNBA playoff ratings after Caitlin Clark's exit. You say, what? Why? Why, y'all? Really? This is where we have to go? Can we put her quotes up on the screen, please? Because I want everybody to know what she said. What she said about your boy, okay? This is the wonderful, the marvelous Sue Bird. I love her to death. Love her. Interviewed her a few times. I'm such a fan.
Bird took issue with Smith's statements, stating that they demean the players' hard work and create a poor impression of the league. According to Bird, statements like this build a perception that the WNBA is failing, which turns off prospective viewers. Smith has defended his position, claiming that his criticisms are intended to benefit, not harm, the league. He feels that open discussions regarding the WNBA's issues are essential if the league is to succeed in a competitive sports market. Bird's statements triggered a flurry of responses from fans and other players. Some have complimented her for speaking out, stating that her worries regarding the WNBA's ratings are real and should be addressed. Others, however, have accused her of shifting responsibility and unjustly attacking people such as Caitlin Clark and Stephen A. Smith.
I'm supposed to ignore the astronomical impact she has had compared to others? How Team USA was stupid for not putting her on a team to make sure you help uplift the sport even more? Don't y'all want a greater profile? Don't y'all want more notoriety? Don't y'all want more hype? I understand that it's going on still without her now that she's out of the playoffs because the games have been great. But the fact of the matter is, she swelled the interest in the sport.
Bird's words have sparked a heated debate on social media, with some fans supporting her and others criticizing her for refusing to accept responsibility for the league's troubles. The issue has also generated wider concerns about the WNBA's future, including what needs to be done to enhance viewership and promote the sport. Bird has remained relatively quiet since the first interview, yet her statements continue to influence the basketball world. It remains to be seen if she will respond to the reaction or allow her statements to stand alone. This dispute is much more than simply one interview or one player's viewpoint. It is about the WNBA's future and what it will take to realize its full potential. The fact that a recognized athlete like Sue Bird is openly voicing worries about ratings indicates that there are more serious problems at hand.
I'm disgusted with Sue Bird, okay? Sue Bird, Hall of Fame caliber, Sue Bird, WNBA, college basketball. Matter of fact, one of the best people that I've ever met, or one of the best women I've ever met in professional or collegiate sports. I love her.
The WNBA has made remarkable strides over the years, but more must be done to attract the interest of a larger audience. Whether it's investing in new marketing methods, promoting rising players like Caitlin Clark, or responding to criticism from voices like Stephen A. Smith, the league must find a way to adapt to a constantly shifting sports world. One thing is certain, the WNBA cannot afford to ignore the topic. The league's future rests on its ability to expand its fan base and demonstrate that women's basketball merits equal attention and respect as men's basketball. The importance of media attention to the WNBA's success cannot be emphasized enough. As Bird pointed out in her interview, much of the spotlight in recent years has migrated to young players like Caitlin Clark, perhaps diverting attention away from the league itself. However, this does not imply that media attention to young athletes is negative. Indeed, it is critical to the sport's future development. The trick is to strike a balance between promoting emerging talent and preserving the exposure of old stars. The media has a significant impact on public opinion, and if the WNBA wants to expand, it must guarantee that its top performers are continuously in the limelight.
I think so many people are watching women's basketball right now. It all started from the national championship game, and I've been dealing with this for 2 years now. And understanding, like, yeah, negative things have probably been said about me, but honestly, I'll take that because look where women's basketball is. People are talking about women's basketball, but you never would think that we'd be talking about women's basketball. People are pulling up to games. We got celebrities coming to games, sold out arenas, like, just because of one single game. And just looking at that, like, I'll take that role. I'll take the bad guy role, and I'll continue to take that on and be that for my teammates. And if I want to be that, and I know I'll go down in history, I'll look back in 20 years and be like, yeah, the reason why we watching women's basketball is not just because of one person. It's because of me too, and I want y'all to realize that. Like, it's not just because of one person. A lot of us have done so much for this game, and Kennedy has been here before, obviously, but there are so many great players in this league that have deserved this for a really, really long time, and luckily, it's coming now.
The league must also find methods to communicate with younger viewers, who may be more likely to follow college athletes like Caitlin Clark, but have yet to form a relationship with the WNBA. To broaden the league's reach, this might include using social media, producing more dynamic content, and even collaborating with influencers.
But I didn't appreciate this article that I read, okay, when it came to her talking about yours truly. Because you see, far be it, this is the headline, y'all. Sue Bird calls out ESPN host for, quote, hating on WNBA playoff ratings after Caitlin Clark's exit. You say, what? Why? Why, y'all? Really? This is where we have to go? Can we put her quotes up on the screen, please? Because I want everybody to know what she said. What she said about your boy, okay? This is the wonderful, the marvelous Sue Bird. I love her to death. Love her. Interviewed her a few times. I'm such a fan. But this is what she said. Viewership numbers with Caitlin Clark are astronomical. She is a big draw. She brings in all the things. And yes, the games where she's not playing have lower viewership. But in the WNBA playoffs, and we'll use the semifinals, where Caitlin obviously is not in it because her team lost, are still breaking records from previous WNBA years and are still cracking 1 million viewers.
Bird's remarks regarding Caitlin Clark highlight critical issues about how new players are absorbed into the WNBA and how they influence the league's future. Clark is definitely a generational talent, and her professional debut will be eagerly followed by fans and pundits alike. However, Bird's remark exposes a possible clash between experienced veterans and rising talents. As the league evolves, emerging players must have opportunities to flourish while also acknowledging the achievements of those who have come before them. The WNBA will have to strike a fine balance between fostering young talent and preserving the legacies of current and previous players. The league's success is dependent on its ability to welcome the next generation of talents while continuing to build on the foundation set by icons such as Sue Bird. Stephen A. Smith has not changed his stance in reaction to Bird's statements. In fact, he has reaffirmed his conviction that the WNBA must rethink its marketing and promotional techniques if it is to thrive.
She continues, because she brings up my name. So these numbers are still really high, and they're still really meaningful. And yet some people continue to flip that. I've seen Stephen A. Smith talk about it. I've seen Shannon Sharpe talk about it. And what I don't understand is they work for ESPN. So why are you hating on a business ESPN is in? I want to say the semifinals games are up like 130%, and that's without Caitlin, end quote. I'm going to dial it back and be as respectful as I can possibly be. Once again, Sue Bird is a champion, Hall of Fame caliber, and a beautiful person. I am a huge fan of her as a person and a player. One of the great pleasures I've had was interviewing her in the past. I'm only addressing her points about me and what she said in relation to the whole Caitlin Clark story.
Smith contends that the WNBA has all of the tools it needs to flourish, but it is not using them properly. He thinks that by adopting aggressive marketing strategies, developing more intriguing narratives, and investing in star power, the league can reach a larger audience and increase viewership. While some have criticized Smith for being too harsh, others feel his words stem from a genuine desire to see the league prosper. Smith has said that he supports women's basketball and wants to know if the league will thrive. His criticisms, however harsh, are intended to motivate the league to do better. It remains to be seen if the WNBA accepts his advice, but one thing is certain, Stephen A. Smith isn't hesitant to speak his opinion, and his power in the sports world ensures that his views are taken seriously. Regardless of the uproar surrounding Bird's statements, one thing is clear: Caitlin Clark is a rising star. Her success at the collegiate level has been nothing short of phenomenal, and she is already being heralded as the next great thing in female basketball.
I think so many people are watching women's basketball right now. It all started from the national championship game, and I've been dealing with this for 2 years now. And understanding, like, yeah, negative things have probably been said about me, but honestly, I'll take that because look where women's basketball is. People are talking about women's basketball, but you never would think that we'd be talking about women's basketball. People are pulling up to games. We got celebrities coming to games, sold out arenas, like just because of one single game. And just looking at that, like, I'll take that role. I'll take the bad guy role, and I'll continue to take that on and be that for my teammates. And if I want to be that, and I know I'll go down in history, I'll look back in 20 years and be like, yeah, the reason why we watching women's basketball is not just because of one person. It's because of me too, and I want y'all to realize that. Like, it's not just because of one person. A lot of us have done so much for this game, and Kennedy has been here before, obviously, but there are so many great players in this league that have deserved this for a really, really long time, and luckily, it's coming now.
However, with tremendous potential comes high expectations. Clark's move to the WNBA will be widely observed, and many feel she has the potential to be a game changer in the league. If she can bring the same kind of enthusiasm and passion to the WNBA as she did in college, she has the potential to propel the league to new heights. However, Clark's success will partly be determined by how the WNBA handles her entrance. Will the league welcome her as its new face, or will there be friction between the rising star and the seasoned veterans? Only time will tell, but one thing is certain: you'll hear a lot more about Caitlin Clark in the coming years. As the WNBA expands and evolves, it confronts a variety of obstacles and possibilities. The league has made great progress in recent years, but more effort is required to fulfill its full potential. The controversy involving Sue Bird, Caitlin Clark, and Stephen A. Smith emphasizes the need for open discussions about the league's status and what needs to be done to improve it. Whether it's fixing the ratings problem, fostering new players, or revamping its marketing strategy, the WNBA has a lot to consider as it looks forward.
Respectfully, Sue Bird, you are inaccurate. It is just that simple. First things first. We cover sports, right? Don't we cover sports? Looking at one of my producers, Sherry, do we cover sports? Do we cover sports? Aaron, do we cover sports? Griff, do we cover sports? I think we cover sports. So if somebody got arrested, I can't bring that up?
One thing is certain: the WNBA has the skill, passion, and capacity for success. It is up to the league's leaders, players, and fans to guarantee that it grows and thrives in the next years. What are your thoughts? Is Sue Bird correct in calling out Caitlin Clark and Stephen A. Smith, or is she missing the greater picture? Will Caitlin Clark's climb to popularity benefit or harm the WNBA? Please let us know in the comments section below, and remember to like and subscribe for more similar material. If you want to learn more about the newest WNBA controversy, see our previous video on Diana Taurasi being furious at the Olympics when Caitlin Clark showed up, and Sue Bird's controversial comment. Thank you for watching. Imagine losing your roof over your head, having nowhere to go, and being exposed to the harsh weather and the terrible uncertainty of the future. This was the awful reality that the Cross family faced when their lone home, a dilapidated caravan, was destroyed. Dustin Cross and his 3 children were overwhelmed by the prospect of becoming homeless, and without a safety net, they found themselves gazing into an abyss of uncertainty.
With breaking news out of Indiana Township, where several departments are responding to a large fire along along Little Deer Creek Road.
However, things took an unexpected turn for the Cross family when a ray of hope appeared in the shape of basketball superstar Caitlin Clark. Caitlin was well known for her exceptional court abilities, but she demonstrated that her excellence stretched well beyond that. Caitlin stepped in and did an astounding act of compassion, changing not just the Cross family's life, but also the hearts of countless others around the country. What precisely did she do to cause such uproar? Let's get into this amazing narrative of hope, kindness, and perseverance.
Students and families of Des Moines Public Schools and Diocese of Des Moines got a big surprise today when Caitlin Clark showed up at North High School. Clark making an appearance as part of the Caitlin Clark Foundation Back to School Backpacks Initiative. Over 350 DMPS students received a sweet Nike backpack filled with school supplies and a water bottle. Caitlin's foundation.
The Cross family represented the pinnacle of love and harmony. Dustin Cross, a dedicated father, lived in a small caravan near Indianapolis, Indiana, with his 3 children, Megan, AA, and Eli. Despite their poor circumstances, their house was full of happiness, laughter, and a strong feeling of community. The youngsters were bright, lively, and enthusiastic about basketball, a sport that brought them together via school and church competitions. Family traditions such as game evenings, Sunday meals, and summer vacations were treasured, resulting in lifetime memories. However, beneath their laughter and pleasure, their house was gradually collapsing. The caravan, which had housed their family for years, was displaying obvious symptoms of degradation. Weathered by time and the weather, the once brilliant and robust building has faded and fractured. The flooring groaned underfoot, and despite their best efforts, the family couldn't afford the significant renovations required to make their house habitable. Their circumstances deteriorated, and the threat of homelessness crept into their life as the state of their house worsened.
Well, Pam, just a few moments ago, we were let up onto the top of this hill, waiting down at the bottom for a while, and then the fire chief just allowed us up here, so we are...
Dustin, who had received custody of his children in 2018, was saddened at the prospect of his children being mocked for not having a stable home. He felt the weight of his family's increasing despair. Their concerns were realized when in 2021, the caravan was tragically destroyed in a fire. In a matter of minutes, the family's possessions were reduced to ashes. The Cross family was distraught, overwhelmed, and left with nothing. No insurance, no funds, and no obvious road ahead. The trauma of losing their house made the family vulnerable in ways they never expected. Dustin's salary barely met their basic requirements, much alone the expenditures of restoring a house. The children's education, which had formerly been a top focus, now seemed questionable. Extracurricular activities, such as basketball, which the youngsters enjoyed, were unaffordable. The Cross family felt as if they were drowning in misery, unable to recover from the heartbreaking loss. Following the fire, the Cross family faced a number of challenges. They were forced to relocate from one rental to the next, disrupting their lives and fighting to preserve a feeling of security. Each time they relocated, they faced increasing rents, and the prospect of never having a stable place to live weighed hard on them. Their routines were disrupted, they lost security, and they lived in continual dread of upheaval. Despite these hurdles, Dustin refused to give up hope. He decided to seek assistance from other sources, seeking to find a solution to his family's deteriorating predicament. Dustin applied to Group 101, a business initiative that helps homeless families find permanent residence. Dustin went to orientations and was given a budget coach to help him recover his financial security. While this brought a ray of optimism, it was insufficient to entirely turn their position around. The Cross family still needed a miracle to get out of their dire circumstances.
At this damage, unfortunately, one person has lost their home tonight. You can see all of the damage left here. Crews still trying to...
In an unforeseen twist of destiny, Caitlin Clark, a recognized basketball standout known for her great talents and leadership on the court, seemed to perform the miracle. Caitlin Clark was widely regarded as one of America's best basketball players. She led her teams to several wins and received awards such as NCAA Division I all-time top scorer, Big Ten Player of the Year, and 2-time National Player of the Year. However, Caitlin's abilities went well beyond basketball. Off the court, Caitlin was well known for her humanitarian endeavors and a strong desire to assist people in need. She dedicated her foundation and other charity endeavors to elevating families, campaigning for education and healthcare, and inspiring young girls via sports. Her selflessness was as amazing as her athletic ability, and her goodwill changed the lives of the Cross family. Caitlin Clark heard about the Cross family situation, she realized she had to step in and assist. Caitlin volunteered with Group 101 and Habitat for Humanity to help construct a brand new house for the Cross family. This was more than simply a handout. It was a lifeline to a family in urgent need. When Caitlin Clark came to meet the Cross family, they couldn't believe their eyes. Caitlin, along with Indiana Pacers player Isaiah Jackson and other volunteers, welcomed them warmly and graciously. Caitlin embraced each family member, providing words of encouragement and informing them that aid was on its way. Dustin and his daughters found the situation overwhelming. Tears flowed down their cheeks as they realized their lives were about to change forever.
I want to be more like Caitlin, not Mike.
And we got here at 10, and we've been sitting out here since 10 a.m.
Madison Bellin was...
Caitlin and the volunteers jumped right in to assist in building their new house. They were doing more than simply constructing a home. They were also restoring the Cross family's optimism, stability, and feeling of security. Caitlin's kindness did not end there. She ensured that the Cross family's passion for basketball continued by installing a custom-built basketball hoop for Eli, the youngest boy. For Eli, this was a dream come true. He enjoyed basketball, so having a space to play it at home was nothing short of miraculous. Caitlin and Isaiah Jackson even played a few games with the kids, brightening the day and making it one the Cross family will never forget.
Meanwhile, in Iowa City, Caitlin Clark and the Hawkeyes earned home court advantage. Our own Kaylin Thompson reports on how the women on the court are inspiring young fans in the stands.
Fans filed in from the rain.
The influence of Caitlin Clark's act of compassion extended well beyond the physical construction of a home. For Dustin Cross and his children, it represented stability, safety, and the assurance that they would no longer have to worry about where they would live in the future. It allowed them to reconstruct their lives and look to the future with newfound hope. Caitlin's generosity gave them a new beginning, a future in which they could once again concentrate on their schooling, extracurricular activities, and making new family memories.
And also just giving them something to smile about, taking a second out of my day to give them a high five, to sign their shoe, sign their poster, whatever it is. I think that
when asked how they might thank her, Caitlin simply said, "Keep the kindness going." She urged the Cross family to assist those in need in the same way they had been helped. The Cross family was greatly moved by the idea of paying it forward, and they pledged to do their bit to assist others in any way they could. To make their day even brighter, Group 101 gave the family front row tickets to an Indiana Fever game, as well as caps, shoes, shirts, and other fan gear. Dustin Cross, who had been trying to find permanent work, also experienced a stroke of luck. He got a new work as an inventory manager at a local firm, offering the family financial stability and hope for a better future. Things were finally getting better for the Cross family, owing to Caitlin Clark's tremendous generosity.
Hours before tip-off.
I love Caitlin Clark, and it's just like worth the time to see her play. I play basketball, so like it's just good to see like how many people are starting to like.
Caitlin Clark's participation with the Cross family was only one example of her willingness to assist others in need. Caitlin's foundation and connections with organizations such as Hoops for Hope and the Coralville Community Food Pantry have had a long-term influence on many people's lives. Her activities go well beyond housing aid. She is dedicated to collecting cash for cancer research, organizing basketball clinics for impoverished girls, and offering much-needed supplies to needy families. Caitlin's outstanding project included a $22,000 donation to the Boys and Girls Clubs of Central Iowa. She has also collaborated with Nike to provide winter apparel and sports equipment to underprivileged youngsters, including more than 85 hoodies, 75 pairs of gloves, and 57 basketballs. Her gifts exceeded $113,000 in retail value, demonstrating her commitment to elevating others. It's no surprise that Caitlin has received multiple awards for her charitable work, including the renowned NCLA Community Service Award and the WBCA Soaring to New Heights Award.
This week for Clark's game against the Wildcats.
My wife is going to get a very nice Valentine's Day gift, and my mortgage company is going to get the next 2 payments ahead of time. So this is good. A personal shout out to that young lady.
Caitlin Clark and volunteers from Group 101 and Habitat for Humanity helped the Cross family get their own house. Construction on the home is slated to be done by the autumn, and the family is looking forward to moving in and building new memories. Dustin Cross's life has improved, as he is now employed and excited about the future. His children, who previously faced uncertainty and sorrow, now have a stable environment in which to develop, study, and prosper. The basketball hoop erected in their new yard serves as a sign of their strength and a reminder that kindness and compassion can actually alter people's lives. As the Cross family prepares to move into their new home, They bring with them Caitlin Clark's vital lessons: pay it forward, assist others, and never lose hope.
And we got here at 10, and we've been sitting out here since 10 a.m.
Madison Bellin was first in line for general admission 9 hours before tip.
Cross Family's experience exemplifies the power of community and the necessity of never giving up, and the long-term consequences of charity. Caitlin Clark's act of generosity will be remembered not just by the Cross family, but also by anybody who hears their tale. Caitlin's acts serve as a reminder that even in the darkest of circumstances, there is still hope.